figure which keeps being shown, and it is shown as both, or either a male or a female. I mean, it's androgynous at the end of the day. And so this Paris Jackson magazine cover, which people have been talking about, and this is her acting as this false New Age Christ, this cracking open of the veil. You see the smashed glass behind her head in the halo, cracking through the matrix, cracking open the veil. Paris breaks her silence, breaking the boundaries, breaking the rules, that the man of lawlessness. So this is all part of, just like in the days of Babylon, when they merged and when they came together as one in rebellion of the Creator. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, which, all of this role reversal is, essentially. And so that is what all of this is about, this centralized coming together as one, breaking borders, breaking boundaries. You can see it happening all over. The melting pot that's being created in Europe, and you see it happening all across the world, and that is all part of this. So here we have this Nimrod female aspect doing that familiar hand sign of the false Christ, like we see in the paintings of the Vatican, and cracking open the third eye, Sophia of the Gnostics. And we've got across the top, the name of the magazine is Rolling Stone. That is a counterfeit inversion of the stone that rolled away when Christ was resurrected. So this is a counterfeit, the false Christ, airbrushed, completely airbrushed. The real Jesus had no looks that we should behold him in that way. So this is all about image and androgyny. The lightning bolt around her neck and a dog collar. And I don't know if you've seen this poster around, but it's everywhere. This is that very same Antichrist character, the female Jezebel, masquerading as the alpha male. Resident evil, the evil that's taken up residence on this earth, being supposedly defeated. And that is the nature of this deception. The halo, yet again, around the back of her head, the black sun. Notice the Jesuit symbol behind her head. There's another link here between the false teachings of the Catholic Church and how this figure is arising with that symbology. Evil will end. It's the false battle where Satan masquerades as light and claims to defeat the darkness. It's the Hegelian dialectic. It's the false light masquerading. So you see the similarities between these false Christs and how they're depicted as this feminine, masculine, feminine, androgynous character which comes to offer a false hope. And it was the same thing just last week at Beyonce's Grammy performance. Notice with me that she's wearing very similar attire, this same Catholic Vatican headdress, and it is essentially the same thing. It's representing that false saviour, the false light, defeating the darkness, and it's even evident in the words she's singing. Let's take a quick look at some of this symbology. You see here in the womb, in the black void, where she's, showing her pregnancy, and it's about the birth of the mother goddess. It's in a different dimension. It's the other side of the veil. So she's talking about the birth of love, and again it's a reference to the New Age. And you see all these ladies appearing here. I think there's actually 12. And what we're seeing here is firstly an inversion of the Last Supper, which we've seen many times. And also this is actually a reference to Revelation chapter 12, the book of Revelation in the Bible. This is the Babylonian counterfeit. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And then it goes on, the passage goes on to talk about the dragon, and her overcoming the dragon, and giving birth to this child, which is to rule the world with a rod of iron, which means severity. So, 12 stars, woman travailing in birth. These are all references. This queen, pregnant queen, and this is a reference and she's even got like it looks like a moon goddess figure on her belly, a little depiction. So you see, so she's walking down this table to the head of the table. So again, I think that this is a subtle reference to both the inverted Last Supper, where she's acting as that Christ-like figure, and also to, as I read the passage in Revelation 12. And so there's like two sets of 12 ladies, and as I said, inversion of the Last Supper, you notice that they're all female. We've got the counterfeit lying signs and wonders of Egypt. We've got her unnaturally going back on this chair, which is obviously hinged to the table, so it's completely counterfeit. But this looks like the birthing position as well. Remember, this is about the birth of the Antichrist. And you see there, they're mimicking the waves, the blue abyss, the smoke again. You see the blue in the background. So again, it's about the birthing from the abyss, the queen, the mother goddess. But this is, remember, this is all one thing. That don't get confused, because their own doctrine is confusion, it's babble, it's confusing. Essentially what this is one enemy masquerading with many different faces. So try not to get confused. It's like the Baphomet, it's androgynous, you know, giving birth to itself. And it's mimicking aspects of the Bible, it's trying to fool Christians and fool the world. It's a one-man show. Like, I've been to a theatre once where one man did the popcorn, took the money for the tickets, and turned on the projector. It's a one-man show. The entire thing is a one-man show. Worshipping this Lucifer as God. We're going to start again. The counterfeit return to Eden. The counterfeit defeat of the curse. The defeat of time. This is a Gnostic principles. They're all getting into the birthing position. Again, sympathy for the devil. I mean, this is again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is like a clock. It's like the 12 disciples inversion, with all females and the queen at the centre, cracking through time. The flowers, just like the wedding. So we had the Last Supper, we have the wedding. And we have this passage in Revelation, the woman clothed with 12 stars. I mean, being bowed down to and worshipped as God. This figure from the abyss, giving birth along the waves. This woman travailing in birth, supposedly against this dragon, but again, when it comes down to the Gnostics, this is a inversion of the Bible. So who they think is the dragon is actually what's good, because remember, it's upside down. So this is evil actually fighting against good, but calling good evil. This is the way they work. It's all upside down, it's all inverted. Even the logo for the television company down in the bottom right is an eye. It's absolutely unbelievable. So it's about, you know, being betrayed. But again, we're talking about the Lucifer figure here, so you know that it's all a lie, father of lies. That in fact the devil betrayed what was good and decided to choose the wrong path and led mankind in that direction. You see, they're all in like wedding garments now. And this to me is the creepiest part, because we get spoken to telepathically, like it's coming into our minds without her lips moving. Again, a counterfeit sign and wonder.
There is a curse that will be broken.
There is a curse that will be broken. And this is exactly what we've been showing. Counterfeit saviour, counterfeit feminine figure posing as the Christ. Because
there is a curse that will be broken.
I mean, that is unbelievable. Defeating the curse of time. 1,000 girls raise their arms. So 1,000 points of light, and this is completely, again, the anti-male agenda, because this is against the Father, this is against the Son, the true Son of God. This is against authority, the man of sin. The reconciliation is possible. The big, great deception that is coming upon this world, that if people choose to pursue unrighteousness, they may fall into this trap of rejecting the real truth, the real defeat of the curse, which happened 2,000 years ago. It is finished at the cross. Our sin and shame is defeated, and that we can be reunited and redeemed by Jesus Christ to the true Creator in heaven. But this is the enemy. I mean, it's plain and simple what it is. The enemy pretending to be the Christ, pretending so that it might mislead people to hell. The reconciliation is possible. It's already possible. It's been completed in Jesus.
If we're gonna heal, let it be glorious.
If we're going to heal, let it be glorious. Wow. The counterfeit return to Eden. The counterfeit golden age. This is literally ripping off and copying the Bible to make people believe this big lie. This is like a mimic of a mind-to-mind telepathic communication. Again, think back to the stories in the Bible of Moses in Egypt when they counterfeited the miracles. This is exactly the same thing. Think about what it represents symbolically and spiritually. That maybe this individual that arrives on the scene that is part of this great deception, maybe these sort of things will be used, you know, telepathy, counterfeit telepathy, that people do really believe that, wow, this is the real deal, this is the Christ. But really, it is such a deep poison, because it is just off-white, so close to the real thing, looking so much like the real thing, just a slight shade of grey, yet it is the most abhorrent, abominable evil, because it masquerades as light. It looks like light, so that many may be deceived. I mean, is that not the worst kind of evil? At least when it's obviously evil, like a dragon, that you can see it's evil. But this is just off-white, and that is the hardest to discern. And my friend was telling me about that it's so important for us. You know, when it comes to discernment, it's easy when it's black and white, but when it's grey and white, it is so much more difficult. It's Lucifer, it's the devil, posing as the Saviour. And that is all we really need to know. It's all true. The Bible is true. And Jesus is true. He really defeated the curse. Is that not clear? Is not clear even by the way that they attack that all the time? At the very least. The gospel is life-changing. The gospel is the power to save us from the power of sin and death. It's the only power that can save us. Call upon Jesus Christ from a true and honest heart, and you will be saved. Confess him. Time is short, folks. God bless you.